Hi and welcome. My name is Natalie Disk. I hold a PhD in management and also a PMP certification from the PMI. And today's video is what is Agile? The objectives of this course will be to describe what Agile is, describe how Agile differs from traditional software development, and identify how Agile is being used. So let's begin. Agile is an approach to software development. It dates back to 2001 when a group of 17 software developers met in Utah and they were discussing lightweight development methods. At that time, many software development projects were unsuccessful, which caused many business users to be frustrated with the time it took to develop a system. Many projects were canceled midway through due to the delays. To address these problems, the 17 developers published a document called the Manifesto for Agile Software Development, which is now regarded as the basis for Agile software development to the current day. The manifesto proposed 4 key values to improve software development, and these values did not concentrate on technical issues only, but rather were more about the approach to software development, changing the focus of software development. So the 4 values in the manifesto propose 12 development principles as you see here. The first is environment, which had customer satisfaction, changing requirements, and frequent deliveries. The technical aspect, which is working software, simplicity, technical excellence. And teams, which is composed of working together, trust, face-to-face, sustainable development, self-organized teams, and regular review. Just a brief description of each one. So customer satisfaction, it's when customers are happier when they receive working software at regular intervals rather than waiting for long periods of time between the releases. For changing requirements, Agile aims to accommodate changing environments throughout the development process and even towards the end of the project. And frequent delivery, deliver working software frequently from a couple of weeks to a couple of months. So the shorter the gap between releases, the better. For working software, that was the primary measure of progress. Simplicity was essential. It doesn't create more work than is necessary to get the job done. And technical excellence was continuous attention to technical excellence and good design. Working together was close daily cooperation between business resources and developers. Trust is that projects are built around motivated individuals who are trusted. Face-to-face, which is the best form of communication within a development team. Sustainable development was development that should be at a sustainable pace, which can be maintained by all team members indefinitely. Self-organized teams, which is the best result for architecture and requirements and designs, they come from self-organized teams. And regular review is the team regularly reflects on how to become more effective and adjusts accordingly. Now, traditional software development is a little different than Agile. Traditional software development begins with a planning phase, which covers the entire project and includes specifications and detailed plans on how the project will progress. In traditional software development, the project plan is quite detailed and is used throughout the entire course of the project. The planning phase is followed by the actual software development and then the testing of the software product. Each phase is usually completed before the next phase begins. Thus, your complete planning phase starts before you start development. This type of approach is called a waterfall development and flows in one direction. Now, Agile is a little bit different. The Agile development has the same planning, development, and testing phases, but rather than having one set of phases, the phase is broken up into many smaller sets called sprints. Each sprint delivers a workable product with some of the features required and delivers production quality software that is ready for users to begin using. Many sprints can also happen in parallel. Breaking the project into sprints still requires planning that must happen before the beginning of the project. The planning determines the overall needs and decides what sprints will do what. However, what makes Agile development unique is that the initial planning phase is much shorter. At the beginning of each sprint, the objective of the sprint is determined, and then action is taken. Thus, if something changes, the objective of each sprint could change as required. There are several advantages to this type of development. In software development projects, there may be many people involved, such as planners, software developers, testers, etc. And due to this, there may also be poor communications or a disconnect between members of the software development team. One of the principles of Agile is to improve communication by proposing small, self-organized teams. And these teams do consist of the developers, planners, and testers for each sprint. Now, there are different frameworks in Agile. There's Scrum, Kanban, Extreme Programming, SAFe, and DSDM. And we'll go over a couple of them now. For Scrum, this dates back to the 1990s. The Scrum framework proposes 3 core roles: the product owner, the development team, and the Scrum Master. A project manager is tasked to be the buffer between the development teams and anything that may distract them from their goals. In Kanban, it's originally back to, I think, the 1940s, and it was when Toyota began optimizing its engineering processes based on the same model as supermarkets that were used to stock the shelves. The same principle can be adopted for software development, which is produced in Agile operations. Kanban does not propose specific roles, but is based around a Kanban board, as you see an example here on the slide. It's a tool that's used to visualize and optimize the flow of teams. Extreme Program, or XP, was originally developed during a payroll project for Chrysler back in the 1990s. It breaks down the development activities into 4 activities: coding, testing, listening, and design. Now, SAFe, which is called Scaled Agile Framework, it was initially released in 2001, and it's a framework that's managed by Scaled Agile. This organization usually offers resources and certifications and training associated with this framework, so you might want to check into this if your organization does as well. And DSDM, which is Dynamic Systems Development Method. This was introduced by the DSDM Consortium, which is now called the Agile Business Consortium in the 1990s, and it's sometimes called Agile PM. So that's the basics of what is Agile, how it differs from traditional software development, and how Agile is being used. If you like this video, click that like button below and subscribe to the channel for more project management videos because I'll have more coming your way.